We already know that Near and Mello are L's successors in Death Note, but a lot of surface level fans have no idea there was a couple before them and after them. So I divided them all up into 7 different levels of 7 different attempts to try to replace the greatest detective in the world. Some of them completely broke under pressure, some sacrificed everything, some became villains, and some actually had Shinigami eyes. And the deeper we actually go through these levels, you realize how dark the Wammy house actually is, and how they really never created the next L. They actually created some of the most broken geniuses in anime. First up, we got level 1, which I named the prototype. Before we even talk about successors, we need to understand why they existed in the first place. We all know the story about Watsuki discovering L as a child for the first time, and he immediately realized something, that he was actually very special. Of course, he ran the entire orphanage trying to find these gifted children, but this kid was not normal. Like, he realized that this kid wasn't just smart, he was actually on an entirely different level. And because L was such a great detective and an absolute genius, he decided to try to make another L. And the very first successor of L was known as A. A was not just a normal kid, he was actually a prototype. Even Mello himself called him that. This was the very first person that Watsuki actually believed who could become the next L. But the problem that nobody saw is that nobody can become the next L. Like, imagine growing up knowing your entire life was dedicated to becoming someone everyone considered the greatest detective in history. The pressure was unbelievable. Every expectation, every comparison, every single day he was reminded he had to live up to someone who was basically impossible to surpass. And eventually A could not take it anymore, so he actually committed suicide. And like that, the first successor failed before he even had a chance. Like, that's just terrible. You would think that Watsuki would have realized that this experiment wasn't really working, but instead he moved on to the next candidate. And this one would become way worse. That leads us to level 2, the monster. The second successor to L was named Beyond Birthday, or simply B. And honestly, this dude might be one of the scariest characters in the entire Death Note universe. Unlike everyone else at the Wammy house, he was actually born with the Shinigami eyes. Don't ask me how, I have no idea. It wasn't even explained in the original series. He was just born with it. It wasn't because he owned a Death Note or because he made the Shinigami eye deal. He was literally just born with seeing everybody's lifespan and name above their head. But after A's death, Beyond Birthday came to one conclusion. I'm not going to become the greatest detective in the world, I'm going to become the greatest supervillain. He said to himself, I'll never surpass L as a detective, so instead I'll surpass him as a criminal. That's where we get the Los Angeles BB murder case. Instead of just simply killing people, he created impossible lock room murders. Every single crime scene had hidden codes and cryptic messages for L. You had actual Roman numerals carved into victims. You had straw voodoo dolls counting down toward the final murder. Missing books, crossword puzzles, coordinates hidden inside lipstick. Every single clue was just designed for one person, of course being L. But here's the thing that gets absolutely insane. Beyond Birthday didn't just create the case. He inserted himself into the investigation using the fake name Ryuzaki, which is actually really funny because we actually see where L got the name from. He actually worked alongside an FBI agent we already know, Naomi Mizora, while secretly being the killer the entire time. He copied L's messy hair, his posture, the way he crouched, his eating habits. He was just basically an evil version of L investigating his own murders. But L saw right through him almost immediately, and according to L, he actually thought these murders were simply too intelligent to be committed by an ordinary serial killer. This is why L's a goat, bro. Naomi eventually did stop Beyond Birthday before he can commit his final murder, but then he was arrested, sent to prison, and actually 2 years later, he mysteriously died from a heart attack. Which, if you think about that timeline, he was just simply killed by Light Yagami using the Death Note. What an absolute unreal way to end this guy's story. Next up, we got level 3, the brain. If we fast forward after L dies, now the Wammy house has 2 candidates left. If Beyond Birthday tried to copy L's appearance, Near copied his entire mind. Everything Near does was just calculated. He was very cold and he only cared about playing with toys, stacking dice, building puzzles, not because he was just childish, but because that's actually how he visualizes every single investigation. Unlike L, who constantly put himself in danger, Near absolutely refuses to move until the odds are completely in his favor. The Kira case actually wasn't even personal to him, it was just another puzzle waiting to be solved. And that's exactly how he eventually corners Light. He follows Mikami, he discovers the Death Note, he switches it with a fake, and he finally exposes Lei as Kira. Which sounds crazy impressive until you remember one thing: Near admit himself that he could not do this alone. That leads us straight to level 4, the wild card. Now again, if Near actually copied L's intelligence, Mello definitely copied his determination. These are 2 peas in a pod that make up everything inside of L. Growing up at the Wammy house, Mello was always second, no matter what happened. Near always ranked above him, and that completely destroyed him. And instead of working together, Mello left and joined the mafia. He started kidnapping people, threatening governments, using criminals, basically doing every single thing that L would never do, except using the criminals part. But that is exactly why Mello is so dangerous. He was actually willing to take those sacrifices Near never would've. He survives the destruction of the mafia headquarters, which of course left him with that crazy scar that everybody remembers. But at the very end, he kidnapped Takeda. Knowing it could cost him his life, he did it anyways. And that single decision forces Mikami to reveal the real Death Note. Without Mello, Near would never have won, which is why Near said together they surpassed L, because separately neither of them could. Next up we got level 5, the Forgotten Genius. You already know we had to put Matt in here. This guy is the most underrated successor, bro. They did him so dirty. We got no screen time. Like, even if you watch the entire Death Note anime like 3 times, you still probably barely remember this guy. But Matt actually was the 3rd smartest student at the Wammy house, and his specialty wasn't deduction, it was actually technology. He was good at surveillance, tracking, hacking. While Mello was making the dangerous plays, Matt was actually making sure they actually worked. And the funny thing is, Matt never even cared about becoming L. That's why he's fucking awesome. He would rather play video games, smoke cigarettes, and sit inside all day. And that is literally just his personality. But despite acting like he didn't care about anything, he did stay loyal to Mello until the very end, which was absolutely wild. Every single cop just unloaded their entire clip. Like, what are we doing here? But if Matt did not do that, he wouldn't have escaped. But no doubt, this is still one of my favorite characters in Death Note, and it's unfortunate that he was one of the smartest kids in the Wammy house, and he was just gone in seconds with no screen time. Next up, we got level 6, the original. Of course, when Watari discovered L and exactly who he is, this is exactly where everything changed, because the biggest mistake the Wammy house has ever made was thinking they could actually recreate L. Young L wasn't built in the Wammy house, he actually inspired it. Watari found him as a child, a kid with an unbelievable intelligence that couldn't be explained. Like in the spin-off, L actually predicted the financial market crash, and he actually told Watari so he can actually make a fuck ton of money off of it. Which, because of him, he was able to fund literally everything. The orphanage, the investigations, the headquarters, literally everything. But that's why I think every successor failed. They weren't just trying to become a detective. They were trying to become the next L. And that is just impossible. You can't manufacture someone like him. And that leads us to level 7, which I named the truth about being L successors. Because if you look at every single person in every single level, you have A, Beyond Birthday, Near, Mello, Matt, Young L, you start to realize something. This was really never a story about replacing L. It's really a story about how nobody really could. A broke under pressure, Beyond Birthday became obsessed. Matt died by helping his friend, Mello sacrificed himself, Near inherited the title. But the truth is, every single successor inherited one piece of L. Near had the logic, Mello had the drive, Matt had the technical skill, Beyond Birthday had the creativity, but none of them, and I mean none of them, had all of it. And maybe that's the entire point, because L wasn't someone you could just train. He couldn't be cloned, he couldn't be replaced. He was a once-in-a-generation genius. Because even going through all these different successors that were absolute geniuses, there was still only one L. Anyways though, those were the 7 levels of L successors. I know it was kind of a cheesy ending just saying that L could never be replaced, but come on, we all know that, and that is exactly what I personally believe. But anyways, if you like these type of videos, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.